Hello and welcome to Industry's Helping Hands. We welcome you to the Talk with Industry Expert session, where in this video, we are going to have a conversation with an industry expert, Mr. Hyder Ali Khan Sir, CEO of Godawari E-mobility, which includes Eblu, India's first e-rental company. He has been a focused senior leader with an achievement-embellished career track record of over 22 years in business growth for the renowned automobile organizations like Bajaj Auto, Mahindra and Mahindra, Piaggio, Cummins and Kinetic Green. His path-breaking efforts venturing into the electric vehicle segment with achievements which has given him leadership positions, business strategies, spelling success. His holistic approach and strategizing corporate brand building aligning with the vision of the company towards the e-mobility. With a growing focus on switching transportation from ICE vehicles to electric vehicles, there are a lot of job opportunities that the fresh talent can capitalize on. It's the era of electric vehicles which is creating the exciting career opportunities. The greatest thing in the world is not so much where we stand, but in what direction we are moving. The world is rapidly transforming with the electric vehicle transition. But are you guys rapidly transforming your career in the EV industry by upskilling yourself? That's the main question. The answer is here. If you want to upskill yourself for the EV industry, but you are confused about how to start your preparation or how you can learn about the technologies required for the EV industry or how you can develop the skills to become job ready for the EV industry, then for finding the answers of all these questions, you can visit our website industrieshelpinghands.com to know more about the electric vehicle courses which help you to become EV industry ready. You can also download our mobile application. For more updates, you can join our WhatsApp group and Telegram channel. The link is in the description. Press the subscribe button to never miss any update on YouTube. Leadership and learning are indispensable to each other. So in this talk session, we are going to talk with an industry leader and experience the learning. So let's get started with the talk session.
From the student perspective, I can tell you two things. First is that the requirement or the demand for electronics engineer is going to increase by tenfold. Especially the electrical engineers demand will grow tenfold in the coming days. Because the EV companies are all going to grow and every EV company will require the electrical engineers. It doesn't mean that the requirement of electronics or mechanical engineers are going to decrease. It's not going to happen like that. Because if you look at an EV, 50% is electronics and 20% is electronics, or 40% is electrical, and rest is mechanical. What I feel that the students need not be brilliant. Their basics has to be right. Rest, this is the on-the-job training which you are going to get. In EV, one thing more is going to change is that the salary levels, what automobile was earlier, is probably growing very fast. Today, the level, entry level, which was in the range of 2.5 lakhs per annum, is now easily getting 5 lakhs per annum. A middle management which was in 7 to 8 lakhs per annum is now easily getting 9 to 10 lakhs per annum. So the salary bracket is changing quite fast now in the automobile stream.
Hello and welcome to Talk with Industry Expert session. Today we are having with us our very special guest, one of the dynamic leader of the EV industry, I would say, Mr. Hyder Ali Khan Sir, CEO of Godawari E-mobility, which includes Eblu also, which is India's first rental e-mobility solution. Sir is having in the industry for a very long time. He is a successful track record of over 22 years in the industry. So thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Your presence and your suggestions and your time means a lot for us, sir, for the student community across India. Thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, thank you all for inviting me.
And in this conversation, we are having Mr. Ashish Kaluskar, Product Head of Electric Vehicle Courses at Industries Helping Hands. So thank you so much, Ashish, sir, for joining us today.
Yeah.
So
that's basically a great pleasure.
I would like to say to our student community across India, this session is going to be very fruitful for you because Javed sir is having an experience of 22 years. He has seen the industry very closely and
He was in the various executive positions at the different organizations because of his hard work, leadership quality, and the innovative thinking skills. And he is already having a visionary personality. He was contributing continuously in the organization. And now today, he is giving his valuable time to the students of your country. It really means a lot for us. So I would like to say to our student community, this session is going to be very helpful for you if you want to shape your career in the EV industry. So basically, whenever any student is trying to look for any industry, there are so many questions which usually come in their mind. How I will start my preparation? What are the skills I need? Will industry accept this kind of skills or not? So for solving all these doubts of the students, we are continuously conducting this session so that you can understand, learn, and apply these things. And the whole world is at the cusp of electric vehicle revolution. Everyone is talking about EV, and you are the veteran of the industry. You have seen industry very closely. So what are your views on it, sir? How the electric vehicles are transforming the mobility in India, in the different states of India? Would like to know your opinions on it, sir.
Okay, the first thing is the EV, what we are seeing today is just a tip of the iceberg. Uh, the real thrust of electric vehicles in the society would be seen from 2025, when it will be around 10 to 12% of the current automobile volume. And from 2025, the growth of EV is going to be very fast. It will be like growing at a, I would say, cumulative rate of around 15 to 18% year on year. So this is how it is. The three things which is not giving the type of explosion the EV should have got. The three main reasons are: first is the range anxiety. People are very scared about if it stops, what will I do? And looking at the segment of a car or anything, if you are going to spend 10 lakh, 12 lakh rupees, you would like a car which is a multi-user car. You don't want a car which is only intra-city. You need a car which is intercity. So say tomorrow I want to go from Pune to Mumbai. If I have an EV, I will not be able to commute because of the limitations it has. So this is one challenge we have. Second is the charging infrastructure. Till the charging infrastructure, like the example what you have seen earlier, that till the CNG stations were not there, the CNG was not acceptable and people were not moving to CNG. Initially, also there was a lot of hardship with one or two CNG stations in the whole city. There would be lines of 5 hours to fill the CNG with you. So this is a progressive development which happens, which takes time. But still, the government is far behind in giving the infrastructure what it requires. Unless and until the infrastructure is given, it is not going to, this segment cannot grow to the level what we are looking at. And third is the dependence on China. Today, the dependence on China is huge. For example, lithium cells, the only source in India is China. The second is permanent magnets. The only country which makes permanent magnet in the world is China. So you may say whatever you like, but there is a huge amount of dependence on China for everything. Your converter, motor, controller, everything requires their support. So we are dependent on a country. It will take maybe another 5 years for India to be self-sufficient in A to Z of manufacturing. So and the fourth is, see, you have to understand the psyche of these customers. How do they think? So if you speak to a Piaggio or a Bajaj Auto three-wheeler, that what are the things you feel will not be working in an EV? So they will, most of them will give you 5 reasons why they don't want to switch to EV. The first reason is, they say, is that you tell me that your vehicle is going to give a mileage of say 120 kilometers on first year. Normally we use our autos for minimum 5 years, maximum 7 years. So no company has been able to give us a concrete answer that what would the mileage be in the second year, what will be the mileage in the third year, what will be the mileage in the fourth year, and what will be the mileage in fifth year. As we all know that electric vehicles, the battery deterioration happens, and there is a dip in mileage. In lithium ion, we say that it's a 5% dip year on year. But if you use the battery well, if you maintain the battery well, if you charge it properly, then it can be 1 to 2%. If you misuse the battery, multiple times you're charging it or not keeping the battery properly, then the deterioration can be 10 to 12%. So it depends on many factors. So this is one. Second is, still the banks are not giving the type of finance required for the EV as they give for the IC vehicles. Today also the maximum the bank is financing is 70%, 60 to 70% for EVs. Whereas in IC engines, they are financing to 95%. So for this customer to give a down payment of 80,000, 90,000 is a very big stretch. Third major factor is resale value. It is if you look at the middle class and the lower class, for them resale value is very important. If this guy has driven a Bajaj auto rickshaw for 5 years, he'll probably sell it at 50,000, give that down payment and buy a new one. In EV, the resale value is something which is absolutely blank now. You can get 15,000 to 80,000 depending on how your vehicle is. The fifth is the battery. Battery is 50% of the cost of the vehicle today, and the battery is susceptible to theft, to damage, and a vehicle without battery is of no use. And for this customer to buy a battery would be costing him around 1.5, 1.6 lakhs for any auto. And for a scooter, it will be around 40,000 to 45,000. So this is a very big lump sum amount for these guys to cater to. So looking at these are the few, I would say, the blockages which is happening in the way of success. But on every front, there is a lot of work going on. For example, the swapping technology is picking up. So till now, people were thinking that battery is a part of the vehicle. But what we are trying to tell them is battery is just an energy. Like when you buy a car or a scooter, you don't buy petrol. It is not part of your vehicle. It is an energy which you buy time to time. So the moment, the time they start thinking that this is just an energy and energy can be in any form, their mindset will change. But today what they have the mindset that their battery, their vehicle is like they have the motor controller, battery is also part of that. So this is one thing we are trying to teach them, and swapping is the most conducive way forward for the EV technology. If you look at China, 99% of the vehicles work on swapping mechanism, and it is so bloody efficient that you don't have to even wait for 1 minute. Swapping is so fast. Second is the technology has started, most of the critical parts, the motor, the controller, the gearbox, the converter are all being made in India now. Bosch has come up, SEG has come up, big companies have started manufacturing the EMF is manufacturing top class motors and controllers now in India. So now the quality of the powertrain is going to grow very fast. Even if you look at the other parts, the chassis and the other, the overall design part, people are still following the old IC engine technology. Whereas in EV, the cost of the weight is a very critical factor. Even a 5 kg weight here and there can give the vehicle the right performance. Weight is one of the major performance criteria. But still, our chassis and superstructure are 100 plus kg, which we have to start thinking. Even the big companies who are manufacturing like KLT and auto clusters who are big chassis manufacturers, they should start looking at chassis from the EV perspective. What should be the chassis for the EV? Where should be the strengthening? Where should we knock out the weight? So this is the second challenge, but there also a lot of work is going in the right direction. The biggest challenge is today changing the mindset of the people, that the people who are using it. That is the biggest challenge, because the moment you say loader in India, if your vehicle is 500 kg payload, they presume that it is into 3. The overloading is a very typical pattern. Even in auto rickshaw, you see when you have a D plus 3 passing, D plus 10 is normal. So in EVs, you cannot do this. The moment you overload, then you have a problem. So most of the companies have put triggers in the controller that if the moment they load more than 550 kgs or 450 kgs, the controller will trip. Otherwise, if like you have in the elevators, the moment you overload the elevator beyond the capacity, it stops working. Same is what most of the companies are doing it now. So we are going to control the overloading, but that mindset is कि यार मेरा फिर धंधा क्या होगा? मैं तो कमाता ही हूँ 10 लोगों को बैठा के, 8 लोगों को बैठा के. So this is one mindset. Second is the whole auto business works on. It doesn't work as a single owner. It works on the leasing model. In the morning, I am driving. In the afternoon, she is driving. And at night, you are driving. So it's a multiple driven vehicles, and they pay the per day rent of 250, 300, whatever it is, to the owner. So in EV, you cannot do this. A multiple use EV will never be able to perform like the diesel engine. The diesel engine and electric vehicle technology are two very different things. It needs certain amount of sophistication, a certain amount of driving habits, certain amount of you cannot just run the vehicle down on the road and then bring it back on the road. You have to, because there is a 150 kg battery in it. There are a lot of circuitry in it, so you have to take care of all this. Even I'll tell you an example. Washing an EV is not allowed by your power jets, because you will definitely drain the water inside your electronic parts. Most of them are IP65, where they are all waterproof, but then also you cannot go beyond a certain limit. So then this mindset of the people who are going to use has to also mature and change. These are the problems what we are facing. But whosoever is using it, we are getting very positive vibes. First of all, the operating cost is very low. He is hardly having a 50 paisa operating cost to a diesel operating cost per kilometer of 280 to 3 rupees. A petrol of 6 rupees operating cost to 50 paisa operating cost. So you have a huge advantage here. Then they are not tired the whole day because it is absolutely a noiseless and a vibrationless vehicle. So the enjoyment of driving it is different. Third, they feel that, because they are doing a favor to the society by using a non-polluting vehicle, it also gives them a kick, which is probably the most of them say that, we feel good that we are using a vehicle which is non-polluting, no noise, no vibration. Even the customers who are sitting appreciated that, I came on an APE from airport to say my house, and it was like I was finished. I was not so tired in the 1.5 hours flight than this 40 minutes road journey. But of course, when they sit for 40 minutes or 1 hour in an e-auto, they feel that yes, it was worth a very different experience, and it was worth the ride. So overall, the emotions are positive. The mathematics is what needs to be worked upon. So this is in a nutshell. I'm telling you the pros and cons both, from the company perspective, from the driver's perspective, from the technology perspective, from the government's perspective. So government is trying to do a lot of things through the fast adaptability of e-mobility path, where they are trying to bring the acquisition cost of the vehicle to the level of IC engine by giving subsidies. They are working aggressively on putting up charging centers, like in Delhi and all. The plan is that by the end of 2023, it will have more than 5,000 charging centers. So there is a lot of work going on in this direction. They have started, putting a lot of control on the illegal Chinese influx of motor controllers which was happening. Now, if you want to get the FAME subsidy, or your 100% vehicle has to be Indianized. So the localized. So these are the benefits which FAME is also trying to push in. So see, overall environment is getting conducive. But any new technology, any new, I would say, a way of life takes some time to adjust, some time to be accepted. So it is going through its own gestation period, but I am sure that by 2025, as I told you, it will be the era of EV will start.
Definitely.
So, because I was in Piaggio when the diesel was introduced, and that time the diesel technology was more of khachda, tum-tum. If you have been in UP or Uttarakhand, you would see that there was a log on which the engine was placed, and there were 50 people sitting behind, and it was an open vehicle, no roof, nothing, just a steering, an engine, and truck tires. So that was the era of diesel. So once the diesel Piaggio launched, they said, "ये तो auto है, इसमें क्या होगा? इसमें कितना चढ़ सकते हैं? The space is too small, make it big and all." It took 5-6 years for Piaggio to struggle. But then once that acceptance happened, people started seeing that yes, it is futuristic, it is comfortable, it is safe. The adaptation started to happen. And then this all khachda, tum-tums and all were all down, shut now. And Piaggio at one time was selling 20,000, 25,000 auto rickshaws per month. So any new technology, any new way of life, it takes its own time to get accepted.
I completely agree with you, sir. The points that you have quoted, and as I've already mentioned, because of all your previous experiences, itself shows that how much visionary you are, and you are saying that the era of the EV will start from 2025, because yes, whenever any new technology comes, it takes time. It takes time for the company also, how they will represent it to the customers. It takes time for the customers also, because they are so used to with this IC engines, they are everyday usage regarding that. As you have already mentioned, people just wash their vehicles because of their habitual actions that they have already included in their day-to-day activities. But right now, as you have mentioned that, sir, everything takes time, and right now we are in 2022, and we are thinking that the things will become more in action from onwards 2025. So it's a time of 3 years that I would say that it's a time for our homework also, where we can improvise on the things, because everyone is saying the good part of the EV, okay, these are the things we are getting. But in your overall answer, the one thing that I have realized personally is that you're basically displaying the overall picture. What are the challenges they are having as per the point of company view? Then what are the challenges they are having as per the mindset of the customers? So your overall answer was really very in a very good picture that you have represented, sir, so that students who are going to be the part of the EV industry in future will understand this thing, what industry needs, what are the challenges they are facing right now. Because challenges are the most important thing that creates opportunity for thinking. So the second question I would like to ask is that, sir, because you are already in the industry, you have seen things from the automobile right from the scratch. So every industry or every new technology comes, it opens the door of wide opportunities for jobs also. And whenever we are talking about the jobs, it doesn't mean like we are having certain people, but we need certain people who add value on the company also. But whenever we are having the interaction with the students, we found out that students are not so skilled as per the demands of the industry. Industry is looking something different, but students in their college life, they are not up so skilled. So what are your views, sir, regarding the upskilling? Because every day you meet with lot of young talents and everyone. So what are your opinions? And your opinion really matter on this topic, sir. Kindly throw some light on it.
Sure. See, from the student perspective, I can tell you two things. First is that the requirement or the demand for electronics engineer is going to increase by tenfold. Especially the electrical engineers demand will grow tenfold in the coming days. Because the EV companies are all going to grow, and every EV company will require the electrical engineers. It doesn't mean that the requirement of electronics or mechanical engineers are going to decrease. It's not going to happen like that. Because if you look at an EV, 50% is electronics and 20% is electronics, or 40% is electrical, and rest is mechanical. So you will require all the three engineers, but today the requirement of electrical engineers is very low. Like for me to hire electrical engineer is becoming a very big challenge. I'm not getting the electrical engineers. So this is one. Second is, like previously, the mechanical engineers started moving to one new concept called as mechatronics. What is mechatronics? Mechatronics was in isolation. Mechanical engineering was going waste, and electronic engineering was going waste. So there a new concept came as mechatronics, which was mechanical and electronics combined. When your CNC technology came in, PLC technologies came in. Today, if you look at the automobile, I can only speak about the automobile industry. The CRDI engine came, the SPF engines came. So they were all technology driven with electronics as well as mechanical. Same is going to happen with the electrical. Electrical in isolation will not be right. Electronics in isolation will not be right. There will be a combination of electrical and electronics which will take up. Maybe the new subject will be derived electronics or whatever, I don't know. But it is a combination of both. And that is what today, if you look at the industrial electronics and telecommunication, electronics in isolation, electrical and electronics, so there are a lot of streams, but they are not catering to a level what it is required. See, we are also setting up a training center here where we are going to train the ITI and the diplomas in our campus. And then from there only we will select the right type of candidates for our work. The third reason is most of the technology is so sophisticated that unskilled labor will not be required in this domain. Like today, if you look at Bajaj Auto or Mahindra, the 80% are unskilled laborers who are working on the vehicle. They're just tightening the screw or routing the wiring harness. Here, it will not be like this. You will minimum need an ITI or a diploma holder. So the three things: requirement of electrical engineers are going to grow. Second is electrical and electronics combined will be a super talent which the industry will catch up. And third is that even the entry level people who are in the industry are going to be minimum ITI and diploma. Unskilled laborers will not be used because joining the circuitries, it will require certain skills to understand that you are joining the right male and female of the circuitry, not in something else. Otherwise, it will be a tough job again finding it out.
Exactly.
So these are the things. And see, what I feel that the students need not be brilliant. Their basics has to be right. Rest, this is the on-the-job training which you are going to get. But if your basics are not right, if you don't know what is voltage, what is current, what is peak current, what is dip current, if you don't know the minimum basic knowledge, then I'm sure you will have a problem in absorption anywhere.
Exactly, sir. I completely understand these things the way you have mentioned right now. When an industry is looking for any particular employee, they seek that certain kind of hands-on training they must at least know. As you have mentioned that industry doesn't only need a one person who knows only the electrical. Industry needs something that is integrated curriculum. Whether a single person can solve. I don't say that he can solve all the problems, but at least an integrated curriculum where a single employee should know the basics of the mechanical, the basics of electronics, and the core of the electrical. So that all these three things one person can able to solve the actual problem of the industry. And we have find out this thing, sir, and that's why in the courses of industries helping hands, where we are upskilling the students, we are trying to put this integrated curriculum so that a particular student should know the basics at least, because until and unless the student is knowing the basics, they will go to the industry and they will learn in the better way. because the purpose is not only that you are just fixing the screws and tightening the things or working in the assembly. It should be how smart you are thinking, because industry needs the smart people also. Exactly. That means whenever we are having the talk with the students, sir, right now people are saying that it was a time where it was the IT boom. Everyone is switching towards CS and computer science, having
Exactly.
lots of job opportunities on that. But now is the time where these people also, electrical, mechanical,
Yes.
electronics, they are having
See,
opportunities.
in today's era, the electrical department was considered to be the least preferred department.
Yes, yes, sir.
People, only people who did not get any other stream would go in for electrical. But now, in the next 1 or 2 years, it will be like the electrical department will be more sought out as it
Yes.
was earlier for the computer sciences CS department. Hmm. And in EV, one thing more is going to change is that the salary levels, what automobile was earlier, is probably growing very fast. Today, the level, say entry level, which was in the range of 2.5 lakhs per annum, is now easily getting 5 lakhs per annum. A middle management, which was in 7 to 8 lakhs per annum, is now easily getting 9 to 10 lakhs per annum. So the salary bracket is changing quite fast now in the automobile stream also, and with EV where more skill is required, and so definitely the salaries are going to be much better than what it was earlier.
Exactly, sir. The main key takeaway from this conversation is that industry needs the people that you have already cleared to us, but right now we
Yeah,
are having the shortage of the people, and whenever we are having the shortage in the demand and the supply, then definitely the prices go up, and that's why the salary is rapidly increasing. So it's a good time, I would
yes,
say, the students who are listening to our conversation, those who belong to mechanical, electrical, or electronics, this is a good time where you can get the better placements in these opportunities. And you have
yes,
break our myth also, sir, because everyone is trying to influence a student who has done all his mechanical engineering for 4 years is now trying and sitting in the placement of the computer science because he is not getting the placement. But right now, the EV opportunity is opening such doors. And then we heard from the people like you, sir, like the industry leaders, then it will create an impact for the students also. We are having with us in this conversation Mr. Ashish Kadukar, sir. Sir, you are already creating the code. So I would like to know your opinions on it. What are the things that you asked to sir?
The future workforce of the country is currently nurturing themselves in the institutions right now. And institutions play a very vital role in any student's life. So, what will you suggest to the training and placement department of any colleges to fill this skill gap between the academia of the college and the industry skills that they require? What is your suggestions?
yeah. Before the placement only, I would suggest that the colleges should start approaching the EV companies for internships. So that is the time when the student will also get exposure to the new technology. The companies will be also be able to, because you have a 3 months to 4 months internship in your fourth year or your fifth semester, in your fourth year first semester, that is seventh semester.
Yes,
So
sir.
it is very important to invite EV companies for the internship. This will, yeah, every company, in fact, to my knowledge, there are around 22 big EV companies which are coming up. And all would be recruiting something in the range of 300 to 500 people. So, with this type of, yeah, so normally what happens is you are inviting only the companies which is in your surrounding or companies which you have been, coordinating with for years. But I would suggest that you put your team of your students here to focus on EV for a year or two. That you should go and invite the EV companies to the campus for internship. From here only the recruitment process will start. So they will also get exposed to the this industry. The mindset what they have over the automobile industry will start fading. They will start finding it a more technology savvy company, and then things will work out. See, I'll tell you in CS also, 90% of them do what? Data entry.
Yeah.
And what is the future for data entry? You let tell
Exactly.
me after 8 years also they are doing the same data entry. Huh. The 5 to 8% increment is happening year on year. That is it. So there, it's not that CS is a very lucrative or a very interesting job. It is the same. The day and night you are working on, they're doing a data entry for a company. Then once that company is over, you go for the other company. So this is exactly what you're doing. So at least here there is so much of technological improvement, so much of happening every day that that excitement will always be there. In my I've been in this EV space for last 10 years now. In 10 years it has means I would say developed or improved 20 times. So in every sphere, even the performance of the EVs now is far better than what it was 5 years back, 3 years back. You start put your team or students to invite EV companies for the internship program, and automatically things will start moving in the right direction. This is my suggestion. So rest you all guys are smart enough to know what to do.
Yes, sir. And there is one more important thing is the students' projects and the industrial trainings also, which happens in the third year and the fourth year, and that is plays a very vital role in your career also, because from that point of your college curriculum, you go inside of the industry and you see by yourself how the industry is run. Then from there the motivation comes in. So if the students early in their career, if they visit any internship in any company, so that will inspire them. In future they will build their own company, or they will be a vital part of any big company. So yeah, that's a very good thing that you have said. And one more thing is that uh, since the EV industry is also relies on the simulation portions, I'm talking about the software, because there are the softwares like MATLAB Simulink, which is very plays a vital role for checking the parts and the batteries management systems. And there are the softwares for the designing portions, means SolidWorks, CATIA, ANSYS, and few more. How you see and how you suggest to the students that they will take some of these technologies with them before entering into the EV industry, because that will be play a vital role for entering in the EV industry and to get a knowledge in the for the betterment. So what your
See,
suggestion is?
the software CATIA and also is part of curriculum nowadays. So this is you do a subject on design, and in when you do a subject in design, of course you know CATIA and Korob and all, so which is part of the software required. So that is, I don't think you need to be specific on that, because here just design or is not required. You need to have the complete profiling of
Total
what you're
knowledge.
going to do. Yeah, like a controller. A controller guy should know that what is the performance of the vehicle, what is the payload, what is speed, what is the gradient it is going to go, what is the maximum peak current it should go. Beyond that, it will create problem for the batteries and other things. So all that is, and it changes from place to place, city to city. Delhi has a 50-degree maximum temperature. Whereas if
Yeah.
you go to Pune, it is maybe 40-45. If you go to Srinagar, it will be 35. So you have to go by demography as to what are the requirements of the vehicle. So this is a part of the curriculum, and I think people will start taking more interest now, which they were not doing it earlier. So that is one
Yeah.
thing which will happen. But even for you may be inviting professionals for some special classes, or some discussions with the candidates. In that also, if you focus on EVs and call leaders from the EV industry, that will also give them a lot of exposure as to what is happening on the technological front. How big is this industry going to be? How fast it is growing? What are the new things which are happening here? So all that will also add a lot of benefits to the student. The exposure today for EV is limited. People only know electric vehicle. they don't know exactly what is an electric vehicle. So that exposure you need to give through, one is putting them an internship, then they'll know the real ABCD about the industry. But before that, also in the first year and second year, you bring in industry leaders from the EV who expose them to what this new technology is all about and where all it is going to go with.
Exactly, sir. So basically, sir, as you have said that, like, I also agree with that point. A student who has completed his or her graduation in the CS stream, they are doing the data entry job for the one company and for the other. But now when we are talking to the EV, this thing is something where you can add values also. Like you can work on the different technologies. You can work on the R&D part also, because lithium ion battery is something that we are going to face that challenge. Right now we are having sufficient, but when we are talking about the future point of view, we are going to face that challenge. So how we can improvise on that, or talking about the different or alternatives of it, because whenever any technology comes, it has certain loopholes also. And when there are the loopholes, it will create the opportunity for you to work in an innovative way. I would like to know your views, sir. As you have mentioned, we have to see the people, okay, just trust that thing and see the scope on it. So I would like to know your opinion, sir. When we are talking about the electric vehicles, it includes charging technology also, and it includes battery also. And this domain specifically opens the door also. Whenever any electric vehicle comes, then charging will automatically come. So how this domain that is related with the electric vehicle are opening the job opportunities, sir, whether it's charging technology or it's battery technology. I would like to know your opinion, sir, so that students understand the scope of and depth of this industry.
See, every industry, the core OEM industry is supported by around 130 ancillary units. So it's not that nowadays the new funda of asset light manufacturing is going on everywhere. No company has the complete manufacturing at their doorstep. Most of the big companies, they would make either engine or they will either make something very specific. Otherwise, everything is outsourced. Chassis comes from outside, tire, tube, suspension, your body, your seats, everything is from outside. So to cater to one OEM, at least 120 ancillary units are set up. So if the OEM say hires maybe 500, 700 people, the ancillary units would be hiring more than 22,000, 30,000 people. So it's a huge demand in that, and in that the battery manufacturing, BMS is manufactured, the wiring harness is manufactured. So there are 100 ancillary units which is going to be around the main OEM. So it is not, and here also when you are looking at the OEM, he is only going to use the assembly technology, quality. Otherwise, and the testing technology. The battery comes, you do the charge discharge test and see what is the output coming. You see there is no leakage of current happening. The BMS is working perfectly, and you pass it, and the vehicle is put in the vehicle. No EV company is going to manufacture battery, because battery requires a different technology, a different know-how itself, and it's a huge cost. Making a battery is not a very simple thing. It's a huge complex thing. People are very wrong when they say that सब cells को जोड़ा ऊपर bus bar लगाया BMS लगाया चालू हो गया. ऐसा नहीं है. It's very complex. So there are companies which are like Excite is there, Amaron is there, Batrix is there. So Okaya is there. So there are big battery companies who is specialized. So you need batteries for your vehicle. What is your vehicle requirement? The same is for controller. Whether you need a controller of what level you want. You need a 10 MOSFET controller or a 25 MOSFET controller. That is, you have to decide on what is the performance of the vehicle you want. Motor. Whether you want a 3.5 kilowatt motor or 5 kilowatt motor or 8 kilowatt motor according to your requirement. So it's a purely a technical discussion which is being done for the end result what you want from the vehicle. So, so what I'm trying to tell the students is, what is your interest area? You need to first find out. Whether you are interested in the electronics, whether you are interested in the electrical, whether you are interested in mechanical, and accordingly you can choose the industry. The ancillary units you can choose. the OEMs can also be there, which will give you a good lead or good career growth. If for your knowledge, I'll tell you, today there are OEMs, there are ancillary companies which are paying 10 times more than OEMs.
Exactly.
Okay, it's not that the ancillary units are small units. Like if you go to KLT or go to Bosch, they're big units. They are bigger than most of the OEMs. The type of exposure, the technology exposure you will get there, the type of money you're going to get there is much better than what you're going to get in the OEMs. So so one has to look at from the whole perspective, and the demand. When I say that the demand for these engineers are going to go, it's not only the OEMs. It is going to go for the number of ancillary units which are going to be set up to feed the OEMs are going to be huge numbers.
Exactly, sir. Totally understand, because automobile is a sector which is contributing main in the economy and the GDP of our country. So eventually,
Of course.
OEM sector is already like contributing a lot. Like it's already the hiring, as we've seen in the numbers of hiring also, OEM sector is hiring a lot. This is the thing that students should have to understand. At least learn the basics and foundation. Go to the industry, take an internship for few months, then realize what is the
No,
particular domain where you have to focus.
so, so exactly this is what I was telling you, that before you see, they are not exposed to it. So to give them an idea, when you call in industry leaders from battery industry, from motor industry, from controller industry, from chassis industry, from lighting industry, from tire tube industry, so let them understand that what is their interest area. Okay, then they will be able to get a better view about what is the right technology they would like to get into and what is their interest area. Then they let them decide. And then once you call these companies for the internship also, they would get much better exposure there.
Exactly, sir. And that's the main reason that you have concluded, and that's why we have started this talk session, so that students will understand from the dynamic industry leaders like you. So at last, sir, I would like to know your opinions, your suggestions, and your piece of advices for the students, what they should have to do right now, especially the students who are in the engineering stream in the final year, or who are just completed their graduation and looking for the job in the EV industry. What are your suggestions? That your suggestion really means a lot for them.
See, when I take interview, I only see three things in a person. First is the way he enters my cabin, the way he walks. Okay. Second is the way he shakes hand. Anyone who doesn't give a good handshake, I don't take him, because it
Exactly.
gives a feeling that this guy doesn't have confidence. He lacks
Hmm.
confidence. He lacks trust. So these people are not good. And probably the toughest question you can ask to anyone is, tell me about yourself. In India, no one knows how to answer this question. They start from when they were born and what their mother was doing, and when they went to the kindergarten, and when they went to the matriculation. This is not an interviewer is asking when they tell you about yourself. A professional in 1 minute will say, sir, myself, I have three things to tell you. One, when I was in this company, I achieved this. When I was in this company, I achieved this. When I was in this company, I achieved this. This is the innovation I added to my company. This is the value addition I added to the company. This is the bottom line and the top line which I added to the company. This is all one wants to hear. No one wants to hear your parental biodata. Okay. So, but here today, no one knows that what to answer when you ask, tell me about yourself. Second is, for the engineering students, I would ideally like that every one of them should do their own SWOT analysis. No, they should sit in isolation, do their SWOT. What is the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats? Once they put it on the paper, they will get all their answers themselves. That what is the direction they should take and what is the direction they should not take. So
Exactly,
I've
sir.
answered your question.
Exactly, and in a very, very beautiful way, you have answered my question, because whenever any candidate will come to your cabin and firstly you are having the handshake with them, it shows the kind of energy that people is having.
Exactly. If a young 25-year-old guy is coming and shaking hand like a girl, Means I don't want him. I know that he is a failure with me.
Exactly, because as having experience of 22 years and someone is coming of age 22 years and they are showing their energy, because whenever we expect any people of 20 to 25, we expect a lot of energy, idea,
Exactly.
creation, innovation. So that is the most important thing and very important thing that you have mentioned in our conversation, sir, that I would like to share to our student community. And second is how you have to represent yourself, because it is the only thing what makes us human beings different from the mammals, because we are having the art of communication, how we communicate and express our ideas. So this talk session is something like we have covered so many talk sessions, sir, but I personally said that this is one of the best sessions that we have did with you, because from the beginning you have guided the students what they have to do, what they have not have to do, and what industry is seeking. So thank you so much first, sir, for
Thank you.
giving your
Thank you so
valuable
much.
time.